Welcome to class today. I am here in beautiful Jamaica, and if nothing else, I just wanted to film a class here so that I could remember the beauty of this area. It's starting to drizzle, so we'll see how long this lasts, but it's otherwise a beautiful morning, so let's enjoy a little yoga. I want to start today in Savasana, so just come down, let your feet relax out, the outer edges of your mat, slowly lay down. Just bringing that head down, lift your shoulders up, place them down again, and just take a couple of breaths here. Connecting with the breath, a really important part of yoga. That keeps us in the present moment. And just listen to the sounds around you. For me, I can obviously hear the ocean and a bird and raindrops pattering my face. See what you can hear. Breathe, observe, and notice. One more nice long breath here, inhaling. And a big long exhale. Okay, let's lift head and neck up. Bring that right knee in. Grab around the right shin. Just a gentle squeeze here. If this bothers head and neck, go ahead and release it back down. Okay, and just hug here. If you can, keep it lifted and then also hover that bottom leg. For a tiny bit more, reach hands out. Hold and breathe. Draw the belly in. Great job. Exhale, release. Release the leg also and switch to the left shin. Gently hug it in. Notice your body, draw core in. We'd love the lower back to be resting on the mat, not rounded and lifted. Hug it in, maybe head and neck come up and off. Then arms also out, lifting and holding. Breathe. Great job. Squeeze both knees in, just a gentle squeeze. Next, we'll make our way to a tabletop position. So some people will gently grab behind their knees and rock and roll forward. Others will want to come out, knees to the side, making your way to a tabletop position here. Shoulders over wrists, fingers are flared, knees about hip distance apart, and we'll just inhale, lift the tailbone up, gaze forward, and exhale, round, tuck. And take a couple of those with your own breath, just inhaling, exhale. Okay, you might want to stay with this if this is feeling really good today. If you want a little bit more, we'll bring in the knee as we round, extend the leg as we straighten. So we don't want to arch here, just straighten the back. Inhale, knee in, exhale, out. One more time. Inhale, knee in. Exhale, leg out. And gently switch sides if you did the legs. Round that spine, press the ground away. One more time here. And then both knees settle in. We'll bring our hips down to our heels. Take your arms out in front of you. Just a little child's pose. Again, take a moment to notice and observe your body, just where you feel this pose. If it's difficult to breathe, we would bring our knees out, toes gently touching, and take a bit more wide knee child's pose. Okay, one more breath. Making our way now to our first downward facing dog. So we'll place your fingers carefully here, about shoulder distance apart. Fingers flared, step back, find plank first. And then lift your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet out, lifting hips. Now you might want to stay here if down dog is feeling what's best for your body today, or you can take kind of what we did in those cat-cows by taking it into a three-legged dog, knee in, back up to a three-legged dog, and down. Three-legged dog, other side, knee in, round. You come into plank arms and round. lift back up, downward dog. One more time. Inhale, right leg up, extend. Bring the knee in, round through your back like we did in the cat-cows. Lift back up. Place your foot. Left side lifts. Knee in toward your nose. Back up. Three-legged dog, and then lower into your downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet out, lifting the hips. Let's roll forward into a plank position now. So my feet need to slide back a little bit, shoulders over wrists here. And we'll come into a chaturanga. Now, if we're still building arm strength for chaturanga and we get about here and our hips drop first, then you'd want to for sure come to your knees. Taking chaturanga from your knees will build your arm strength here. We want that 90-degree bend in our elbows. Then lift up into your upward facing dog or cobra. Up dog, top of the feet are pressing in, kneecaps are lifted. Okay, cobra, pelvis and legs are on the floor, maybe elbows are bent. Tuck your toes wherever you're at and lift now into your downward facing dog. If you notice your wrists here feeling a little bit tender, maybe a child's pose would be better for you. If you're able to work in your downward facing dog, we're pressing back through our arms, lifting hips, drawing belly in. Picture bringing your heart closer toward your shins. Okay, let's take a couple more. Plank chaturanga, and we'll go right to down dog from the chaturanga. So let's try that. Plank, chaturanga, down dog. Okay, I'll do a modified version this time. Take another breath. Plank, chaturanga on knees, child's pose. So there's your option. We'll actually take that one more time. Everyone roll into plank, modified or full chaturanga, downward facing dog, or child's pose. Okay, let's keep our toes tucked here and just kind of walk your hands back. Give your wrists a little roll, a little shake, maybe a little stretch in your armpits or by your ribs, and just a little wiggle there. Okay, take another breath. And then let's roll on back, downward facing dog. Almost done with this core work here. Okay, so from this down dog, I want you to bring your knee into your chest and then over to the left. So right knee into chest, right knee over to the left, back to plank. Left knee into chest, over to the right, back to plank, knee to chest, angle it over to the right, back to plank. From here, lower all the way to the floor, finding a nice Sphinx pose. So elbows go right under your shoulders, toes gently touching, pressing the tops of the feet in, lifting the kneecaps. And then we'll just lift that chest. Gaze in front, take another breath here. Okay, coming into a forearm plank from here. So our shoulders, again, right over elbows, hands right in front of elbows as well. Tuck your toes, tighten through your core, lift to a forearm plank. From here, let's bring right knee to center, right knee over to the left, and back. Left knee to center, left knee over to the right, and back. One more time. Right knee center, right knee over to the left, and back. Left knee center, left knee over toward the right, and back. And then let's lower down Sphinx. Okay, you might want to stay in your Sphinx pose or keep it legs together and come on into a cobra. That's pressing your hands in, working to straighten, but we'd like our lower body resting on the floor. Okay, if you wanted a full up dog, I kind of look at where my elbows are at, place my hands where my elbows are at, and then work to straighten arms, press into the tops of the feet, lift the legs. Lifting the kneecaps up, gazing right in front. One more breath wherever you're at, Sphinx, Cobra, or up dog. Great job. Let's find down dog now. Tuck your toes and lift into downward facing dog. We'll just slowly begin to walk the hands back to the feet. Hands back to feet. Finding a nice forward fold here. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Look back through your knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Great. Maybe even grabbing your biceps or using a block for support here. If you feel really rounded through here, try straightening your legs, kind of drawing your ribs down toward the thighs. And then take that bend in your knees so that the ribs connect to the thighs. And then working to straighten from here, you'll notice less lower back, more hamstring. Great job. Let's begin to walk that out. Walk the hands to the top of the mat. We'll find plank, lower in, knees or toes, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Everybody down dog. Let's look up at our hands. Bring your right foot up between your hands. Now, if it doesn't make it all the way, just grab it and bring it on up. Set your left heel down. Let's find a warrior two here. Straightening those arms out. Gazing over your right fingertips, drawing your belly in. Inhale. As you exhale, let's straighten that right leg. Reach forward with the right fingertips and bring that left arm down, right arm down, lifting left arm up. Finding your triangle pose here. You might be on your shin with me, or you might like a block better. Or your hand might reach all the way to your floor. Okay, this might be a best spot for some of us. Others might want to try a little core work by just lifting that bottom arm off, holding with core and leg just for a breath or so here. Great job. Let's bring that arm down, come back to your triangle, come back to your warrior two. Settle in. One more breath. And we'll take that second side, bringing your arms around your foot, step back, find plank, lower in, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. My mat got a little bit wet in the rain, so you guys hold down dog while I wipe my mat off in hopes that I can stop sliding around. I'm even going to just leave this towel back here for a second. Much better. Okay, let's find our warrior two on our left side. So look up at your hands, bring your left foot up between your hands, set your right heel down. Find your warrior two. Fun view for me. Oh, so pretty. Gazing out over our left fingertips. Lifting that right arm up. Nice job. Let's straighten that front leg now. Reach your left fingertips forward, 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 and come on in triangle pose, gazing up at your right fingertips. And then if you wanted to try that floating triangle, just be really sure that your knee and leg is ready for it. You can even take a little micro bend here and lift off that bottom arm, that left arm. Even more is reaching right arm over. A bit much for me today. One more breath here. And then let's come on back, find your warrior two. Really go into it. We're just here for a breath or so. And exhale. Let's come on down with our arms, step back, find plank. Knees or toes, lower in, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. I'm showing cobra this time. And exhale, down dog, or maybe a child's pose. A little bit of balance work next. So if you like to move toward a wall in your balance poses, you can go over toward a wall now. The rest of us on our mat will just find downward facing dog and begin to walk our hands, or walk our feet up toward our hands. Just go nice and slow, go tiptoes. Whenever you need to, bend your knees, take that forward fold. Then let's slowly bend the knees, roll up, round through your spine, roll up one vertebrae at a time. You can also walk your hands up your legs. Come on up and let's find a brief chair pose. So feet hip distance apart here. Bend your knees, arms up, and settle into a brief chair. So we're just looking down at our toes, making sure we could see our toes. From here, let's bring our hands to our heart and take the weight in the left foot now. We're coming into a warrior three. So just flare the toes out on your left foot, kind of practice balance there. And then when you're ready, right leg lifts off back behind you, pressing through that heel of the right foot like it's standing against a wall. Okay, both hips are pointing down toward the mat. So if you feel like your right hip is lifted, just kind of angle it down. Coming into a standing split now. If you're new to yoga, you might want to grab a block right in front of you. If you're able to, we're just lowering hands down, lifting right leg up. And then just for a bit of playfulness, again, if you're new to yoga, don't even feel like you need to try this at all, but if you've done a little bit of yoga, bring your hands about shoulder distance apart, flare the fingers, and then just maybe a few little kicks into a handstand. Good job. Okay, come on back. Let's find plank. Lower in chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then once again, just slowly from here, begin walking your feet up toward your hands, feet to hands. Inhale, let's take a half lift this time, lengthening the spine. Exhale, fold. And then finding chair pose from here. So I like feet about hip distance apart. Traditionally, feet are toes together. Either way, bend your knees, sweep your hands down to the mat and up above your head. This time, tell the right side, well, let's hold another breath or so here. Slide hips back so if you can see your big toes. Really activating the glutes and outer hips here. Bring your hands to your heart. Okay. And then from here, press down through your right foot. Finding warrior three. You can see I'm going really slow. I come to my toes first. Then just feel the balance right here. And then maybe extending the leg. Your warrior three might look a little more like this. Totally fine. Wherever you're at, feel the balance. Hip bones pointing down toward the mat. Take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale into a standing split. Hands to a block or the floor. Lifting that left leg, and you can feel your glutes and lower back lifting it as you fold over your right leg. One more breath here. Holding here if you'd like to, or if you want to try those little handstand kicks, make sure your hands are shoulder distance apart, fingers flared, and then just kind of bend that right knee as we gently lift up in to a few little kicks. I'm being very cautious today. I don't want to tip over. Okay, find your down dog. Take a couple breaths here. And then we'll find a Malasana squat. So just gently walking your feet up toward the middle of your mat. Toes angling out, heels angling in. Okay, Malasana squat. I'll face the camera and show you. Now, a lot of us will be really lifted here with our heels. That's just ankle flexibility. So you can bring some blocks in. Widening your feet might help. Just be patient with your body as you work on that ankle flexibility. And I'm kind of swaying today. That's not really the pose. Must be the ocean or something. Okay, so just kind of centering yourself. Lifting that upper body, pressing elbows into inner thighs. Just one more breath here. Okay, let's slowly release, bringing hands down toward mat, lengthening up, straightening legs. And again, no big deal if they don't go all the way straight. Just go until you notice your hamstrings. And then we'll walk hands to the top of the mat, step back, finding plank. This is an optional vinyasa here. We've taken a lot, so if you want to just go right to down dog, go ahead. If you want to take the vinyasa, chaturanga, into up dog, it's our last one of class, into down dog. And then from this down dog, let's all roll forward into plank and slowly lower, making sure we have space for our heads. So I'm just going to walk back a little bit on my mat, lowering all the way down to belly. And then just taking a little break here, okay? Just a little breath or two. Okay. Earlier in class we took Sphinx pose. So for those of you that are new in yoga, I want you to come into Sphinx or maybe into a cobra, okay? Those that have done yoga a little bit, we're going to work into bow pose. So first we'll take a little moment to kind of work that quad flexibility. So I'm just bringing my right arm back behind me, finding my right toes, and even kind of bending the toes down as I press my heel toward my bum. Okay. Try that on second side. Planting your right elbow, bringing your left arm behind you, and we'll bring that foot down. Now, with anything in yoga, if you ever get pain, come on out. Okay, so if you notice anything weird here going on, come on out to me. It feels really good. Okay, new yogis, again, remember Sphinx pose. Or you can just take a little rest here, resting your favorite cheek on your hands. Those that would like to give bow pose a try, let's bring our arms back behind us, grab ankles or tops of feet. Okay, I see it cued both ways. Now if you just can grab one at a time, just take one at a time. We'll do bow pose twice. Okay, so if you can grab both and want to do 2 full bows, try to bring your knees together, lift that chest, gazing right in front of your mat. Inhale, exhale, lift, breathe, inhale, exhale, lower. Bringing your arms down, taking a moment here, letting that settle in. You might even child's pose here. Okay, second side for those that did one side at a time, or second bow for those that are going full both times. Grabbing, knees together, they'll separate as we go up, that's okay. Don't gaze clear up, just down at the floor in front of your mat. Inhale, exhale, lift. One more breath here. And slowly lower down, bringing the hands in by the ribs this time and coming into a child's pose. I'm doing a tucked toe child's pose. I just notice a little bit of added benefit to my feet by doing this, but you can always just take regular child's pose. One more breath here. Great. Let's take a seated forward fold now. Just walking the knees forward. Okay. Bringing the legs out in front. I have very uneven ground, so I'm just kind of walking around finding a good spot. All right. Toes pointing up. Knees really engaged. Lifting those quads up. Okay. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Tilt from your hips. We're trying to keep a long spine here. So tempting to round into this. This is a good stretch. Let's just look for this hamstring stretch here. As we lengthen our spine, tilt forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths here. Let your breath carry you deeper. Sometimes you don't feel like you're going deeper, but even just sitting in the moment helps your body in the long run. Just sitting through the stretch. Okay, last breath here. Let's slowly relax out of that pose, making our way onto our backs, just where we started class. We will take a final twist today, so I'm going to cactus my arms. Okay, bringing your elbows into a bend. I'll show what that looks like, okay? Just goalpost or cactus. And then bend your knees. Bring your feet to the very outer edges of your mat. So just kind of walk your feet out, find the very outer edges. And then from here, just drop your knees over to the left and to the right. And again to the left and right. Okay, we might want to stick with this, just going back and forth a few more times. If you want a little bit more, drop your knees to the left. Lift your left foot off, place it on your right thigh, and let the weight of that left foot kind of open up that right hip flexor. And then switch sides. If you took that, take your knees over to the right. Right foot comes off, settles in on your left thigh, let it pull you down. Take one more breath here. Okay, taking another twist if you'd like to, or you can settle right into Savasana. If you'd like second twist, bring your knees into your belly, give a gentle squeeze. And then taking both knees over to the right, flare your left arm out straight now and look over to the left. And then taking that over to second side, knees hug into your chest briefly. And then take both knees over to the left. Right arm flares out, gaze over to the right. And bringing both knees into your chest. Gentle squeeze and then lengthen them out. You might inhale and then a big open mouth exhale. Okay, lift your shoulder blades up, place them down again. Find a nice spot to rest on the back of your head for this minute or so that we'll be in Savasana. And again, just coming back to the sounds of the room. Seeing if we can let go of those sounds, going more into our body, noticing the sounds that our body is making. If anything is painful or hurting, come out of Savasana and see what you could do. A blanket, a pillow, a bolster. Relax in. Let your final conscious thought before you let your mind float off into Savasana just be one of gratitude. Thankfulness and gratitude puts our mind in a good space to rest easy now. Enjoy this last minute. If you can stay longer, please pause this and stay longer here. If you're ready to come out, take a nice long stretch. Pointing your toes, maybe interlacing your thumbs, big stretch, and then slowly roll to your side in the fetal position. Pressing on up into a seated position. Hands to your heart. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.